Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're out here working on my chainsaw. Now this chainsaw is an old Husqvarna 460 Rancher that I've had for quite a few years. And we use this saw to cut up or notch out jack posts for jack fence. And we have a jack fence that we need to install next week. And this last couple days of this week we are making jack posts for that job, notching them out. And this little booger is not oiling. So we're tearing it apart, trying to figure out what's going on with the oilers. I'm not a pro at this, guys, but however, I do know that these 460 Ranchers and these homeowner saws, which I've never been a big fan of, they're pretty common. Their oilers have problems, from what I hear, and especially this 460. I know when I bought the one back here behind it. I don't know if you can see it back there, but that one I bought years ago, and when I bought it, the guy that sold it to me said, I'm gonna have trouble with the oilers. Well, isn't that fantastic? Anyways, and so I got this one from a buddy here, I don't know how many years ago, a few years ago, and we've been running her pretty solid. I cut lots of rails and posts with it for a while, and then we kicked it over last year onto jack post duty, and it's been cutting quite a few jack posts over the last year or so. And but the oiler's not working, and so we're gonna tear this apart, see what's going on. I don't know if I have any parts off that other one that are going to work. Whatever I find out is going on here, and we'll see what happens. And if I can't get her oiling, I'm going to have to rig up one of my other saws to do the job, I guess. But we'll see what happens. Let's get tearing this thing apart. Okay, I'll take this out first. Get rid of the old spark plug. Now I like to kind of take these little springs out when I get ready to remove this clutch, and it's kind of a crude fashion of doing this. Pop those little boogers out of there. Chink. They can be a little bit of a booger to get back in, but honestly they're not too terrible. There we go. So those are out. Those things. There. That way I won't damage the spring when I'm taking this out. And those two springs anyhow. So what I like to do is take a cotton string or some kind of a string, preferably soft, non-abrasive. I'll go see what I have, and we're going to stuff it down in the cylinder here. Right down in there. We're going to plug that thing up. So if you follow the arrow here, we're going to turn it this way to take it off. With that string in there, it's going to bind it and allow us to then get some tension to take that off. So let's go get a string and get that going. Well, as luck would have it, I didn't have a soft one, so I'm going to use a little bit of this twine. Not highly recommended, but I have done it before on my older saws with some success. Just start putting that string down in there. We're going to fill up the cylinder all the way. Well, until you can't get no more in there, which is starting to happen. Okay, let's see. Let's see what happens. I'm going to turn this to the side real quick. See, that right there is already binding like that. Anyways, I got a wrench that fits just around the bottom side of that little deal right there. It's pretty snug. I can't get it to go like this normally, so I do that. Grab my crescent wrench and make it that size right there. And then we're gonna go in the direction of the arrow, and it's bound, and I think it's free. Just like that. And here we go. Now if I can get that off of there, and we're gonna spin that little number off of there. I'm gonna try to keep that intact. Slide that off right there, and there we go. That's off, and now we're back in business. So I'm going to check this out and show you the next step. So the next step is to go ahead and slide this out. This is the plastic piece, believe it or not, plastic, that spins the oiler. So it sits down. Let me see if I can just move this over here. This goes down like that. This sits down in the groove. These two notches sit in that groove and spin as you hit the throttle. And then we will show you what's next after that. We're going to remove this little Phillips head screw with a flathead screwdriver. Get that out of the way. Pop this little number off. Wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and clean this while we have it out, which I will. And let me get down a little bit closer here. So this little thing just pops out of this groove. Make sure we're going. I couldn't see. Okay. Yeah, this thing pops out of the groove. Just pops right off of there. So number one, I am going to hit this with a little bit of air and make sure it's not plugged up. Okay. That's not plugged up. And if it was, it ain't now. Boy. I think it works. I'm going to go ahead and move this aside for a minute and blow all of that junk out of there so we get a better look at it, and then start taking this oiler out. Well, my initial impression sometimes is I think that, well, let me get a better look here. My initial impression sometimes is that this piece here is wore out because it's plastic. But that one to me looks pretty good. I have an older one sitting over here, and it's a little more wore right there on the lips. But this one still looks pretty sharp to me. I don't think that's the problem. We might have been plugged up, guys. I might have blown something out of there I didn't know about. Because as I was spinning it, let me put this back down here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Kinda, okay. Let's spin that down there. And I'm actually spinning, if you can see right in there, it's turning the pump, and there's a bubble of oil coming up right there. And it's actually pulling some oil out of there. So I'm wondering if we weren't plugged up, which would be awesome. I'm going to go ahead and take this out, blow through the tank, and make sure that that's all clear as well. Okay. So this is just a simple Allen wrench. I don't recall what size because my Allen wrenches are in a pile, if you guys know what I mean. Even this little bag I have down here to the right of me that has Allen wrenches in it, they're kind of just thrown in there. Okay, so we're going to take that little dude out. It looks like a pretty good pump to me. So, doesn't look too bad. I'm going to blow that off, set it aside. I think the pump is working fine. I think we might have been plugged up. Okay, guys, look at this. Let's see if I can focus on that right there. I'm going to blow some of this out of there. There's some junk in there, guys. Look at that. Look at all that stuff. I think we had some sawdust down in the tank. It's actually plugged up in the tank. I'm going to clean that tank out and see. Man, we might get away without having to buy parts. Awesome. So we got all the parts kind of cleaned up a little bit, and now we're ready to start reassembling this little dude. And so first things first, this one goes back in place right there. Set her in there nice. Back to the old Allen screw. And I didn't clean it up 100%, but for being out in the field, this isn't too bad. And I got to be honest with you, I put a splash of gas in the old bar oil tank there to rinse it out with, and then I blew it out with air again. And then we let it dry out for a little bit. And now we're reassembling it, so I believe the gas has evaporated anything that was left. And now we're back to the normal program. So we're going to go with this little guy, who we know now is not plugged. Whether it was before or not is a mystery. Let's put her back in there. You kind of have to give her the old squeeze and pull right there. Oops. Because she doesn't like to fit all the way over. But anyways, you get the drift. Make sure that's seated. That's very important. Okay. So we got that together. Now, the next step is to put the metal bracket back on. And what did I do with that? Oh, silly me. Where did it go? Where did it go? Pause. Okay. Found it. back in there. Let's see, it was the old Phillips head screw. Goes back in. Using the old scrunch for a tool. And it might help if I get that going straight. There we go. Perfect. That back on. Now we're looking for the plastic doohickey. Screw that down in there. It feels pretty good. Next, of course, let's see, we're going to be doing the clutch assembly. And I will note that there is a bearing in here. You've seen that was left on the shaft. Make sure that's all good to go and that we're not missing any pins. We're going to slide that on there nice and easy. Let's see. Okay, so the thread's on lefty, backwards. Making sure that bearing doesn't bind. See, I think it went in pretty nice. Okay. I need to make sure that the plastic notches are in place. Looks good. So I'm just going to kind of repeat what I did to put it on, but going the other way. So we're going to be down on this side. We're coming counterclockwise to tighten. And we're just going to wait for that to bind. It's going to have to go a ways to bind now because we had it on the wrong stroke. Backwards, backwards, and right there. There it is. You hear that? Okay. That's the number right there. Perfect. So I'm going to put these clips back in. It can be a little bit of a booger to get in, and watch your hands because the screwdriver will slide off of there easily and then gouge the tar out of you. This second one's always harder because it's already tight. See, like that? Yeah, that was good stuff right there. Okay. Gonna try. I know I'm in the shadow here. Try to get out of the way. See if I can get that to. Oh, come on. Oh, almost got it. Come on. Sorry about the shadows, guys. The sun has moved on me. Okay. That's going to push down in and snap in place, just like so. And we're going to pull this rope out. Bada bing. Hopefully we didn't do no damage in the cylinder. Boy, I'd say I'm due for another spark plug. Maybe I'll try to get one tomorrow before I commence the cutting of the jack posts. Spark plug back in. I guess we're ready to try it out. Okay, we're going to give her a little starteroo. You know what I need to do, guys? I need to put some oil in the tank. Come on. Oh, man, I tell you what. How many times? It's like, I don't know if you know this or not, but you have to have oil in there for it to oil. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Let's start it. Okay, guys, we got some oil coming out. So I'm gonna go hook that up to the bar in my little contraption, give it a go, and I think we have success, guys. We definitely have some oil coming out of there, and that was more than when I started, so I'm feeling pretty happy about it. Anyways, that's a little bit of a video on how I clean the oiler in my 460 Rancher. Occasionally they get plugged up and or ruined and you got to tear it apart. So I know it's maybe some of my methods might be a little crude, but it gets the job done out here in the field, and I can go back to work now, keep working. So if you guys would be interested in knowing or learning how I notch my jack post for my jack fence, comment down below, and maybe I'll shoot a video tomorrow on how I notch my jack posts for when we do jack fence jobs. But thanks for coming along, guys. It's a sunny day, we're having a good time, and I hope to see you guys back out here tomorrow. Have a good one.